Hello and welcome to email automation for doTERRA Wellness Advocates. This is class number 2 where we're going to go over how to sign up for ActiveCampaign and how to set up your account. So if you have not watched the first video, be sure to go back to the first video, which will explain exactly what email automation is and why in particular we're using this tool, this ActiveCampaign tool, okay? Now, if you have not signed up for ActiveCampaign and created an account yet, that's the first step. You can find the link in the bottom of the video, in the email, or the Facebook group. Please do use the link in order to get there before you sign up. There's a little referral code on that, and that helps me out so I can continue to give you guys these free trainings, okay? So, when you do go to the link, you know, you're going to come to this like pricing page, and what you want to sign up is just for the light one. There's no real need to sign up for any of these other things. The things that we're going to be doing is just the light one. As your business grows and it gets more complicated, you might get into this kind of stuff up here, but for right now, don't worry about it. So if you want to sign up for an entire year, you can get this service at $9 per month. However, if you just want to go month by month, then just click this little button on the side, and then you'll see the prices change for a monthly rate. So if you just want to try it out first, you know, there's the monthly rate, but obviously there's a huge discount for signing up for the $9 per month, all right? So once you have your account, you want to come here and you want to log in. I'm already logged in, so it's just going to kind of like remember my credentials on my in my browser here. So when you first log in, you're going to be taken to this dashboard, which is going to just kind of be an overview of, you know, how many contacts you have, the campaigns you sent, etc. The main way you're going to navigate is on the left-hand side here. You'll see that in the menu you have your contacts. So contacts is basically every single individual person that you have on a list will be in your contacts, okay? So that's how you see everybody. I'm not going to be clicking on this at all within the class because I don't want to show anybody's private information that I have in my contacts list, okay? The next one is campaigns. Campaign is basically an email, right? So this is where you can create emails and send them out. Automation is the tool where you're going to actually create these automations that we're talking about, and we're going to cover that in detail in the next video. Conversions, you don't really need to worry about this tab for now. This has to do more with e-commerce and sales funnels and where you're setting up ads, etc. List, so now a list is basically a way to organize your contacts. The reason that they're actually separate is that a contact can be in more than one list. And this is what I really love about ActiveCampaign is that every single person is only counted once. So you're not like charged for a person more than once because a contact can be added to multiple lists, but the contact's only in there once for you to manage them. Then we have forms. Forms are things that you can use for emails and on your website and various things like that. We're not going to get into sites. Reports is going to be the area you go to once you actually send out emails. This is where you're going to see like how many people opened it, what they clicked on, etc. It's going to give you all the analytics. So now let's actually start by coming down to the very bottom of the left-hand menu. And this is where you'll see your kind of username and a little circle here. And this area, if you click on it, this is actually where you would go to change your billing information, upgrade your account. You can put in a support ticket and contact support if you're having trouble with something, or if you want to log out. This is the area right down here. Now in settings, and let's click here and go, you'll notice that this is the area where your information is held. So when you signed up, your first name, your last name, your email address to your account, your default signature, your time zone, your language. If you want to reset your password, that's all under your account. If you want to edit the address associated with your emails and email account, it's here. If you have more than one person that's going to be sharing your email manager tool, maybe you have a marketing company or something like that, then here's where you'd add multiple users so you can have different people log in and all manage it together. Some of these other things are a little advanced. The only thing I'm going to kind of note here is developer. So when you're integrating your tool with another tool, so maybe like for example, maybe you have a website and you have WordPress, at some point in time it might ask you for an API key, and this is where you come to get it. It's under developer right here, okay? But that's really all you need to know for now. Under the next area is apps, and under apps is great information on how to integrate ActiveCampaign with all of these tools that are out there. So for, if you use Facebook, if you use WordPress for your website, if you use Google Analytics for your website, maybe you sell stuff on Shopify, I don't know. But basically, or maybe this is a good one. I use this, the active scheduling. So if you are using this to like manage your calendar and schedule things, then you can integrate ActiveCampaign with active scheduling, which will probably be a feature class that I do with you guys, because that's actually a really cool tool that I use. Saves me a bunch of time, a lot of time. So anyways, you can go through here, you can see all the different tools that they integrate with. I wasn't kidding when I said that there's a lot of integration features, and it makes it very easy. All right, this other thing, this little heart, to refer a friend. So if you want to refer somebody to ActiveCampaign, then you can get a little credit here, just like I gave you guys the referral link. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Okay, well, we'll move on from there. All right, so the first place I want to do is actually go, well, the first thing that you want to do actually is to go to list, okay? So this is the starting point. You're gonna wanna create at least one list in here. There might be a default one. If there is, you're welcome to change the name of it. And so maybe the list you wanna create is for, let's just say, wholesale customers, okay? For some reason I can't spell right now. That's okay. Spell or type. All right, wholesale customers would be the name of the list. So maybe you'll do two lists, one for wellness advocates and one for wholesale customers. So then you can kind of send different emails to those particular groups, or maybe you can just group everybody together. Maybe you just send out on a regular basis, just like one email. I'm not sure. You're gonna have to decide that for yourself, for your business. And the particular example that we're gonna run through in this entire e-course is gonna be for a wholesale customer. And when we enroll a new wholesale customer, basically sending them a series of emails so that when they first sign up, there's a period of time before they get their kit. And during that period of time, we're going to point them to resources like the doTERRA blog, maybe your Facebook group. And then once they get their oils, we're also going to invite them to schedule a wellness consultation with you. And so we're going to do that all within the emails automation. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing once we're finished with this course. All right, so list wholesale customers. Next is your list URL. If you have a website, a personal website for your doTERRA business, then you want to put this URL in here. If you don't have your own domain name specifically yet, or like a website specifically yet, then just go to your doTERRA account and go under account profile, and then right down here under my website, click on my website address, and then this is going to give you your doTERRA website address right here. So you can just copy this in. Let me just show you what this looks like when you actually go there. All right, get out of the way. Little, my Zoom bar was in the way. Okay, so here, so here's an example of my doTERRA website, right? So here's a picture of me and like a little blurb. And actually, if you didn't know this already, this is where you go, where you can actually change what the site is. So mine used to say like Malika L something something, but I just changed it to M Lacey, so it was nice, short and sweet. And I uploaded this picture and put that there. And so you can actually use this URL, and people can come here, and then when they click on become a member, it starts a new enrollment, and they will enroll underneath you, and you can enroll them anywhere in the world and under any language, basically. So, okay, so I have that URL, and I'm gonna put that here. And then down here, what I'm gonna type in is just a short message to let people know why they're on this list and receiving these emails, so then they don't, so they know it's not recognized as spam, so they don't think it's spam. They understand why they're on this email list now that they are a wholesale customer with you. So you can just say list description. You can just say you are receiving this email because you signed up as a doTERRA member with me, basically, right? That's short and sweet. That's exactly why they're receiving it. You're free to change this text to however you want to word it, or make it a little more personal, totally up to you. Then I'm going to click add. And now I have my list, my wholesale customer list that's here. And so now I want to add my emails to this list. And so there's a few ways we can do that. One way is doing it manually by just clicking add contact. And then you can type in, I'm totally making up something right now, okay? Like this isn't a real person. I'm gonna use Jane Doe. Yeah, let's use Jane Doe. So I'll just put like Jane at JaneDoe.com. That would be really bad if your name was Jane Doe. And I'm sorry if there's any Jane Does on here, but then that's like always the example used, right? If you have a phone number, stick it in. If you don't have a phone number for people, that's fine. You actually don't need to put their first name and last name. If you just have an email address and that's all you have, then that's all you have. But the more information you put in here, then the more tools and things that you're able to use for it. Then I'm just gonna click add, and then it's gonna ask me what list to add it to. So I can actually add a customer to multiple lists, like I was kind of explaining before. So we're just gonna add this particular person to the wholesale customer list. And then if I already have an automation set up, I can click and make them start an automation if I want to. I can add tags. Tags are another way to organize people. During this e-course, we're not going to be really using tags, but I at least want you guys to understand that in the future, on different automations that I might come out with and give to you, you might use tags. And so for an example of that is maybe you have different wholesale customers, and there are some that are on LRP and there's some that are not on LRP. Maybe you would want to split your list and send those people different emails. So this would be a good way to do that, so that in the email automation, it would come to basically like a fork in the email automation and say, like, if they have LRP, send them this. If they don't have LRP, then send them this reactivation email promo that's going on, right? So then that email is just sent to the relevant people. So to do that, I could just create a tag by typing in LRP and clicking enter. And then I would just put this tag onto people that only have LRP. And the way that I would know that is by logging into my doTERRA back office and physically looking to see if they signed up for LRP now or not, right? So that's just one example. Obviously, you can do a lot of things with tags, and they're really cool to have. The other box down here is just it says advanced list options. You can basically put it as active or interactive. I don't know why you'd add somebody and then say that they're inactive to your list. I'm not sure why that's even there, but just so you guys see what's there. And then basically, so now I'm just adding them to the list and I'm clicking apply. And I'm just gonna refresh the page. And now I should be able to see this new contact in my list, Jane Doe, okay? Now with contacts, I can click on them and I can see a view of information that's specific just to that individual. So if I had sent her various emails, whether they're in the automation, whether it was just a one-off campaign, or maybe I even sent her an individual email through here, which I'll show you in a second, whatever she does, I will see that activity here. So it'll have a timestamp and it'll say when she opened something, when she clicked on something, and so on and so forth. All that information is going to be listed right here on the right-hand side. Now over here is her name, her email address. If I put a phone number, it would be here. You can add more fields and get crazy with it, but I wouldn't. I would keep it as simple as possible. However, if you are like mailing out samples and things like this might be a great place to actually put the addresses so that you start to collect the information of your customers. So as you start to do other things in the future where you might need their mailing address or you might need their phone number for like SMS text messaging and things like that, now you have it all in one place and it becomes very easy. So adding data is a good idea, but starting out with, just take baby steps, okay? If that's overwhelming you, then just don't do it. So here I can actually easily add them to more list, right? I can remove them from a list if I want to. I can add them to an automation. I can remove them from an automation. I can see what automation they're in, all that sort of stuff. I can, down here, I can add notes about a particular person by just clicking right here and adding notes. I think notes are really powerful. I think as a wellness advocate, you should be taking notes on everybody that you talk with. Even if you talk to them about doTERRA and they don't have an account yet, or if they've been to an intro class or after they get an intro class, you should be documenting this information so that you can follow up with people properly and just be a good person and serve them the best. You know what I mean? So like, for example, if I talk to somebody, I like to just put the date and then just say, you know, talked to on the phone, and then maybe I would just say, maybe their 4-year-old had a dry patch on the leg. I recommended using correct X since I knew she had some, right? So then the next time I talk to her, and maybe it's been like a couple weeks or even a month, and I can come back and say, and pull up Jane Doe, and I can see what was our last conversation. And then I can say, oh, how's your son dry patch? Did that clear it up for him? If I hadn't like heard from her since then, I can catch back up right where we left off. And it's like, I remember everything about them. Because in the beginning, it was easy for me to remember everything. But now as things grow, you start to get hundreds and even thousands of people in your organization. You can't possibly remember everything about everybody. And so by taking notes, this is what's going to just make you a good person. You know what I mean? So if, people tell me they got 3 kids and their ages and their names and their pets and all that sort of stuff, I can like type and put notes on them. And just so it just jogs my memory, you know what I mean? And then, and that's the best way that I'm able to help people. And so even if you don't use it in ActiveCampaign, I recommend, if you're keeping track of people, just a good old pen and paper, then do that next to the person's name. Write notes about them. You might use something like Excel on your computer, or maybe some people like their cell phone. There's like applications like notes in your cell phone and things like that. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. So just adopt something and do it. If you don't have a way to adopt something, then hey, why not start it right here and then? Like basically, here's your contacts and you can keep track of everybody right here. And in fact, you can even create tags that let you know where a particular person is within your organization. So if they're like a prospect, or maybe they're just like a lead, right? Like they haven't done anything. You just say, put lead on there. If they've attended an intro class, you can say intro class. That's why like if somebody doesn't have intro class in your list, then like you need to give them an intro class, like you can just kind of tag them. You can write notes and different things like that. So you can like move them through the different steps. by using this tool. So it's not just email, right? It can actually be pretty powerful. Okay, the other thing you can do is email right here. So you can actually send an individual email manually from this. So instead of logging into your Gmail or your Yahoo or wherever you send email from, you can just come here and just say hello, and you know, and write whatever you want to write. You know, did you get your oils yet? I don't know, whatever you want to say. And then the reason that you might want to start doing that and have the habit of sending it through here is the same way as if you're starting to use this as a CRM tool, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. So you have everything in one place. Then you can do that. And then the other reason is that if you send them an email from here, you actually get to see if they opened that email. So if they never open your email, then you know that either they just didn't see it. So now you can send them another one. And if they don't open that one, then you might want to give them a call or text them and say, hey, did you get my email? And then that way they can actually physically go to their email, find your email, open it up. And if there's some reason with like the delivery of the email, then you guys can like sort that out as well, right? Maybe they have you blocked for some reason, and now they can unblock you or send or put you into their saved contacts list, that kind of thing. And so it just gives you visibility and information into these people. Because I mean, there's so many times where we just like, you know, we send information out there and then it's just crickets. We don't hear anything. So it's nice to know like what actually is going on and like how to respond and follow up with people in a cool way. So, so that's a feature there as well. So this is kind of the summary of the introduction of what you can do with the contact. Okay. All right, so now that we have a list and we have people on it, the other thing that we can do is we can actually send them a campaign. So a campaign would be sending it to a group of emails. And I said that backwards. A campaign would be sending an email to a group of people. So everybody on the list or a subsection of that list would receive that particular email. So it might be, let's just say November promotions, right? Now I probably wouldn't name an email November promotions. I would say something a little bit, actually let's just say something a little bit cooler. Let's say holiday item launch. Yep, I'm great at spelling, okay. Holiday item launch and November promos. That sounds cooler, right? So people know what's in there. Obviously, because I'm recording this video right before we're about to do, right before November 1st, which is the holiday launch, right? All right, so that's the campaign name. I usually you know, make the campaign name the same as the subject of the email. Then I'm just going to do a standard email, right? So I'm going to click standard email, and then I need to come up to the right-hand corner here and click next. Then I'm going to select what list I want these emails to go to. And so it's going to be sent to my wholesale customer list. But I can select more than one. So if I have a wholesale customer list and I have a wellness advocate list, now I can select them. I can put them on two. And if accidentally I have an email address that's in both lists, it's only going to send it out once. So that person's not going to get it twice, which is very nice. Now it's going to have me select the design for the email. So here's the 411 on designing an email. It is best to just keep an email as simple as possible. So literally just like blank with text, a simple text email. Because what you want to do is make it feel like you are individually sending them an email, and you're not sending an email out to a big list of people and they're just particularly on the list. And so you might have seen this a lot lately when you get these automated email campaigns that you get into. They are just like text emails. There might be like a link in there, and sometimes there's a little picture, but that's about it. They're not like designed all pretty and fancy and like and crazy or anything like that. So I like to just keep it super, super simple. You can start by just clicking on basic and then hit select, and then that's going to basically give you a blank place where you can just type text into. And just for the sake of time, I am going to just come in here and I'm clicking over to, so there's templates, there's layouts kind of thing, and there's inspiration. You know, the simple emails, just to click on template and keep it basic. I've already done that and sent out different emails. And so I just want to kind of come over to one that I've already sent out. So you can also do this too once you send out one. And then I'm just going to select one, and I'm just gonna put the subject line in. That's the same thing, the holiday item launch in November, November promos. Then I'm gonna hit continue. And it's a little slow. Okay, fine. All right, so let me just delete this out of here. So I can put hi, and then here's a few ways that you can do it. So personalize. This little guy here is going to give you a list of basically things you can use that once you put it in there. So for example, first name, you'll see there is kind of like has like this percent, first name percent. And what that means is it's actually going to replace it with the person's first name. That and so you can say hi, first name, and then, you know, and we have Jane on our list, right? So now when the email sends, it's actually going to say hi, Jane. And so it sounds like I'm like talking specific to that particular person. Okay, so I'm going to say hi, Jane, and then I might type in welcome to our doTERRA team. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm sending out a holiday. I'm sending out a holiday thing, right? Okay, so hi, Jane. So excited for November. On the 2nd will be the first day that they're launching the holiday products. Click on this link to check out all the options. And then the link that I would put in there is I'd come over to doTERRA shop holiday offers. And then I would just grab this link right here, and then I'd put it into the email so they can get to it, kind of thing. If I wanted to add an image, I would come over here on the right-hand side, and I would grab this image, and then I would just move it to where I'd want it to be. You see it's pretty big there, but then I can just, I can upload an image or add an image. I'm just gonna, let's pretend these are the holiday products, right? Then I can kind of scale it to the size that I want. I can keep it pretty simple. And then if I want to insert another text block after it, I can just grab that and insert a text block after it. And then I can just start, you know, typing more information right in there. And so this is a simple way of how I can basically construct an email. Here is a link. So there's a couple ways that you can add hyperlinks so that it links out to a website. You can select text that you've typed and then click on this kind of like chain link fence. When you click on that, and then you just copy and paste whatever the URL is. So maybe it's like to a Facebook group or to the doTERRA website or something like that, right? And then once I'm done, I would just click OK, and it would turn it into a hyperlink. Or if you just copy a URL and you type it in like that, where it's not like blue or highlighted, when the email actually sends, because it's HTTPS right here, it's gonna automatically switch it over to a hyperlink in it. So you can just copy a URL that way as well. However, if you want it to be all pretty, you can highlight text so it doesn't show the full URL. That's the different ways that you can add a hyperlink. So you pretty much want to just keep it to like maybe a picture, maybe not a picture, and text. And I think the shorter the better, unless it's kind of like you have a lot of information and things to send out there, and there's like a theme and it's educational what you're saying, then it could be more detailed. But the shorter and sweeter emails are, the more they're going to get read for sure, and the more people are interested in it. When there's so much in an email, people tend to open it and then they just close it and forget about it and they never sort of like really read it, or they just kind of scan it. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's just say I wrote all this stuff, you know, letting them know that the holiday products are coming out on the 2nd, and I let them know what the promos are going to be for November and all that sort of stuff. I can type that all into there. And then before I go anywhere, the next step, I want to just click on this little icon up here. And this is really cool because this kind of lists like all the settings for your email. So up here is the subject line. I can edit it if I want to. Definitely fill in the pre-text information. This is like next to the heading, there's a little bit like almost like a part of a sentence, and that helps people just to like kind of want to click in more. So the holiday item launch November promos, I might put in here, you know, don't miss out the first holiday products release November 2nd. You know, like something like that. It's just giving a little bit something more, right? Because you don't want the subject lines too long, but it's also something that's enticing them to click on the email. Now for the from address, you want it so it comes from you, making it personal. If you have a brand or like a name, like maybe, I don't know, Oil Life, right? I mean, that's not let's just pretend like your doTERRA brand or your doTERRA company is called that. Then certainly you could type that in there if that's what people are familiar with you about, and that's what like your Facebook pages and all that sort of stuff. If that's your brand, then it could come from your brand. Now this is pretty important. You see how my personal email is malika@gmail. So when you actually use an email manager and you send it from a Gmail address or a Yahoo address, it is most likely going to end up in spam. Best thing you can do for yourself is actually to create an email address from a domain that you own. So for example, my website address is malikalacey.com. So I send my emails from here from hello@malikalacey.com. And you'll notice if we come all the way down here that this spam check, this is really awesome because if there are certain words or certain formats that trigger the email to go into spam, ActiveCampaign is going to tell you that right here, and you're going to get a chance to fix that so that people are actually going to get your emails. So that's so cool. I love that they have this there. And so what it's telling me is basically that when you use a free email provider address, that, you know, it's going to give me a point towards spam, basically. So you can still leave it here and send it out. It's not going to block it or stop it from be sending out, but if you want to have the best chance of not hitting that spam box, then I would create an email address that is a domain that you own. So to purchase a domain, I recommend that you go to GoDaddy and you can like search for a name and purchase a domain. And then once you have a domain, you can come over to email and office, and you can get an email for $2 a month, basically. Now the email that GoDaddy sells is basically Outlook. So it's like Office 365. So if you like Office 365, then you can do your email through GoDaddy. Either which way, I recommend getting domains through here, but if you have a different domain service, that's totally fine too. It doesn't really matter where your domain is registered or what you're like. The other place that's really great to get emails, a new email ad, is from Google Workspace. And so if you like Gmail, then this essentially will be just like Gmail, but instead of the address being Gmail, it'll be whatever the domain name is, and you can create those email addresses. And it just starts for that one thing is $6 per month. So they're still very cheap as well. But like I said, if you want to just use your Gmail or Yahoo or the free email provider, you can. Just be aware of that. So when you're first adding people to like your wholesale customer list and stuff like that, when they get that first email or when you first add them, you might want to call them or text them and just say, hey, I just I just added you in my email list. Did you get an email from me? And then that way they can like add you to their safe list, or they can check spam and then just say this is not spam kind of thing, so that so they're actually getting emails from you. So just be aware of that, all right? I'm not going to go too much into depth more about how you can create your own email address. I think this is enough for you guys. I'll put the links to the Google Workspace and to GoDaddy down there, so it's easy for you to find them as well. Okay, so so my email that I actually send it out from is hello@malikalacy.com. And so you see, I'll change that, and then let me close this. And then when I open it back up, when it does the spam check, you see now it passed the spam check now, because it's an email that I own and create, malikalacy.com, right? The other thing that is down here is test campaign. So I can send a test email out and look at it by just, and I can change this address to be whatever I want it to be, basically. And then, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Stupid autofill. Okay, so I can just, by just presenting test, then now it's sent. So basically sent me this that I'm working on. So now I can see what it looks like when it actually sends out to other people. Always be sure that you do that before you hit to a mass list, because you want to just look through it one last time, make sure your links are correct, make sure there's no spelling issues and things like that. I've rushed before and sent out emails that had some errors in them, and that kind of thing happens. If it does, don't beat yourself up about it. Just be a little bit more careful next time. Okay, now, you know, if I go to the next button, it's going to give me a summary of the email, which is going to look kind of similar to that little button that I pressed. There are some other options here. I'm not going to go into it. It's not necessary to understand this information. If you want to, you can go into the resources section of ActiveCampaign to know this stuff more, but I'm not going to cover it in the email course. You can schedule this. So if you know stuff ahead of time, you can schedule a campaign to go out to certain lists at a certain time, or you can just click send now. Obviously there's no even like real email addresses on this, so I'm just gonna hit save and exit for now. But if I were to send it out, I'd send it out. And then now under campaigns, you see here's the campaign that I was working on. It's in draft mode, so I can continue to work on it, or I can send it out. And that's pretty much it for campaigns as far as what we're going to cover. I will, in the eCourse, in the resources section, I'm going to put more information on, basically I'm going to point to where you can get more information on how to use this tool in here, like the button, the video, the line break, etc. So I'm just going to give you kind of like point you to the help section of ActiveCampaign, so it's easy for you to get more information. But it is pretty intuitive. I mean, even the buttons up here, you know, you align your text, etc. It's very similar to like Word and stuff like that, and all the other tools that we're used to. And like I said, you do not want to get crazy with it. You just want to keep it simple. So I think what I covered should pretty much cover it for you, unless you're just trying to do something more advanced in your beyond this eCourse here. Okay. So let's see, I think that kind of concludes it for now. I'm going to get into the automations tab in the next class, and then we will go from there. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.